Hello, eRank. Welcome to another Thursday live Q&A with me, Pam, and him.
Me, Brian.
Brian. Yeah.
Hi, everyone. Happy Thursday.
Starla is, of course, exhausted after doing an entire week of shop reviews. If you haven't checked her out, you want to go over to YouTube and check that. But Brian kindly has come in again, seeing as you all seem to love him from last time. So.
Thank you, everyone.
Yep. So, and I don't believe we had any questions in our Facebook group. So that is awesome. That means everyone knows everything there is to know. They're
So
all
we're done.
caught up.
Thanks, everyone. Great success.
Exactly.
And, hey, Jessica. Hey, Amy. Hey, Deb. Hey, Anna.
Yeah. Hi, everybody. Yeah, it does mean that we do have a new... Do we call it a new tool? I suppose we call it a new tool that we're allowed to show. Yep. We have a new tool we're allowed to show. We'll maybe wait a wee minute to say hello to everyone. Let everyone who's going to be coming in, because I know it's that kind of time of the year where everyone's probably winding down a bit from the Etsy.
It's also the first night of Hanukkah, so everyone that's celebrating is definitely prepping dinner and getting their candles ready and trying to find the menorah in amongst all their stash. And
oh, cool. So, I didn't know that. Yeah. Cool. So, well, thank you very much for joining us then. Yeah. Yeah, I'm horrible at keeping up with the holidays. Although eRank should be able to tell us that if you go into the calendar page on eRank. Don't know if it actually tells us that, but
it does, and it's also on the main page of... Oh, maybe not. Figured it would be on the main page in the upcoming events.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, it is on the calendar, though. Hi, Irene.
Cool. Hi, Irene. Hi, Irene.
It is on the calendar. Hanukkah for the next 8 days.
Awesome. Cool. Good to know. Yay. And yeah, before we get into the tool, I suppose for those that didn't notice, Etsy's put out its trend guide for next year. That's linked in the Facebook group. I should have brought the links with me, but I forgot. And they've rolled into that. They've also announced their color of the year, which is berry. I keep wanting to say very berry, but it's just berry, which is a sort of pinky magenta-y color, which I'm loving. And Pantone just dropped their color of the year, which has divided everyone a touch. It is peach fuzz. I keep wanting to say
if we look hard enough, we could find both of those colors in your background.
You can probably find both of those colors. Like, I think my face is peach fuzz and my hair is berry. So that was, as soon as I saw peach fuzz, I thought, do not buy leggings in that color, Pam. Do not buy leggings. That's not going to work. So yes, guys, let us know what you think of all of these, and if you ever use any of the colors of the year. I get all excited, and then I have nothing to do with them. I gave up on trends like 30 years ago. So
those are just like ideas, and if you want to kind of in your images throw like a little splash of those colors in the corner or something like that, your product itself doesn't necessarily have to reflect that. If your shop does, then it kind of has cohesiveness with the rest of Etsy, with the rest of Pantone, and all that type of stuff.
Absolutely. I can definitely see the berry. If you have a beautiful white staged background, to have a pop of something that kind of magenta color looks awesome. Yeah. Some people have already said their walls are painted in the peach fuzz kind of color, so it does work as a sort of background wall color. I don't think
it was a very 90s color. I remember a lot of houses had that as like their wall in the 90s.
Oh, no, I hear it was magnolia. That was the color everybody had. Except for us, because my mum was ahead of her time and obsessed with color, and literally would go to school and come home and one of the walls was just a different color, or the furniture was all the other way around or something.
Our kitchen was a salmon color growing up, which just made you feel like you were eating dinner in the belly of a whale. It was weird. It was weird.
Fair enough.
The 90s were a crazy time.
Indeed, yes.
Marina, hey David.
Oh, we actually have a question from David. We'll pull the question and then we'll dive into the new tool. So David is asking, does eRank pull all its data from Etsy directly or through other sources? And that is a cool question. A bit of both. Yeah. So firstly, things like your shop data, the competition data, quite a lot of that comes directly from the Etsy API. But things like the search volume data, Etsy doesn't give that data out to anybody. So that comes from a third party. It's a little bit like how they get TV viewing figures or Netflix streaming figures or whatever. It's a representative huge panel of people who agree to share their data. Their data is sent to this third-party company, and we purchase it off them, basically. It's
So while the search data and that type of stuff might not represent all 98 million buyers, it's going to have a huge swath of them and then kind of extrapolate from there.
exactly. It's a statistically significant sample size without being absolutely everybody, which is why we'll sometimes have like unknown or something as results. It doesn't mean that nobody's searching for it. It's just that from the data we've got, we can't give an exact number. It's probably pretty low, but we can't give an exact number.
It's also kind of the differentiation between the free account and the pro, basic, or expert account. The free account will have a lot less of the purchase data because data is really expensive. And that's why there is the paid accounts. And that'll show you more of the paid data.
Absolutely, yes. If in your free account, you'll see the competition data because that's stuff we're getting from the Etsy API, and it's also handy data to see. But yes, as Anthony keeps telling us, the data is the reason he doesn't have a yacht, or the fact that he's a decent person and keeps liking building eRank rather than building his own little empire. So,
I mean, he's also in Ohio. Where do you put a yacht in Ohio?
you
I guess
just
there
put
might
them in
be
your
big
drive for
exactly.
bragging rights. Yeah. Come and have dinner on my yacht, and people just think, where's the water?
Sharon has a question there.
Shall we go with this? Yep. Thank you so much, Sharon. Could you give an explanation for the ABC rankings on eRank? My ranks are all over the place, but info on my listings is very similar. Do you want to go with that, Brian?
So the rankings are based on Etsy's best guidelines, best practices. So if when you go into the listing in the listing audit, it'll tell you, it'll kind of flag and give you tips of why you didn't get an A or a B or a C or whatever ranking you got on that listing. And so Etsy says shorter titles are better, or longer, like whatever they say. And so that's what the ratings are based on. If it says use all 13 tags, if you're not using 13 tags, you'll lose some grades. So that's just best practices. It doesn't actually grade the content that you're using. So you could have the worst keywords and still have an A rating. It's just about whether you follow the right format for your listing.
Absolutely. There is one little change we made a couple of years ago where you might be seeing two listings that are very, very similar have different grades. And that is, we also included a little bit of feedback from if your listing's getting sales and things, because at the end of the day, having sales boosts your listing. Etsy starts to trust it a bit better. So we didn't want people, even if your listing had a few issues, if it's starting getting lots of sales, we didn't want that to be an E grade or something. So you're likely to have a higher grade for a listing that's selling well. So if it's doing kind of good, it might have some things you could work on, but we don't recommend touching the ones that are doing well. So it might have a higher grade.
And that's why even if it doesn't follow the best practices, it does give you a better grade just so that you don't go in and change that listing.
Exactly. And you will see an example very soon of how terrible some of our shops can be. If you haven't been here before, yeah, as Brian said just before we came on air, do as we say, not as we do with our shops.
Highly recommended.
Right. Shall we do that just now and then come back to the questions? So keep your questions coming in. We totally can see them all, but let's see if I can. Ooh, if I can figure out what's the right thing. So we have a new tool on eRank. If you've noticed, we've been playing around with the dashboard somewhat, and that has added this new card, putting the data into a health check. This is the data from your shop. And we now have a little button here saying see full report. I think this only went live today. So don't know if you guys spotted it or not. So this is just your health check, looking at all of your listings so you can see what is missing. Does your listing have, oh, thankfully I don't have missing tags or images on my listings, but you get a nice tick if you've got none of the missing things, if you've got enough images, if you've got enough tags, but you can see at a glance, oh, this listing has some spelling issues. I should maybe go and check that. This listing has one-word tags. And then what you can do, you've got a couple of choices. You can go to the listing audit to look at and get the advice that we give, the tips that we're giving based on Etsy's best practices, or you can go directly to fix that on Etsy if you know what you did. So hopefully just everything into one place so you can see what's going on.
Exactly. And a few notes on that. If your listing is perfect across the board for those, it will not show up here. So if you have 100 listings and only 20 are showing up here, that's because only 20 listings have issues. It won't show you the other ones because those ones are good as far as this criteria is. With spelling, if you say that certain words are perfectly fine and you add them to your dictionary on eRank, that is no longer a spelling issue. So that's only words that you have not verified are acceptable, because there's certain words that are not common words, like summerween is a good example of one that we use, and it will come up with a spelling issue. Once you tell eRank, nope, that's valid, that's I meant to spell it that way, it will no longer show up in the health check as a spelling issue.
Yeah, and that's a really good point of a lot of these things that we see. It's for you to look at and say, is this important or not? So the spelling issue, if you know it's a word, but just our dictionary doesn't have it yet, we're not saying, oh, your listing is terrible because of that thing. We're saying, hey, is this important? And you go along and go, nope, that's an important word for me. The same, as you can see, I've got a few one-word tags. Now, one-word tags are a problem because you might potentially not be using up all the space. You know, you've got space for more words that you could potentially get matched for. But if your one word is, say your shop name is really long and for some you want to use it in a tag, you don't have to, like, if there isn't room for another word, there isn't room for another word there. So again, you could just look at that and go, one word tag. I know where quite a few of mine have come from because myself and Brian were doing some testing of something and I haven't removed them yet. So so yeah, if you know what you've done, but there's that first one saying 6 one-word tags, I really need to go and look at that and see what I've done. So
But like my sister-in-law, for example, her last name, and that's also her shop name, is 15 characters long. It's a very long last name. And so that will come up as a one-word tag because you can't really fit much after that.
absolutely.
Perfectly
So guys,
acceptable.
yeah, let us know what you think of this, if there's anything you'd like to see, anything different. This literally only went up in the past day or so. So yeah, it's just hopefully making it easy to have everything all in one place.
Exactly. And we've only been testing this for about a week just to kind of add in things that we think should be there and adapt it to the way that we use it, but we need to know how you guys use it as well. So if you have any feedback whatsoever, please throw it out there. There's the eRank button in the bottom corner, and just give us feedback on this so that we know how to improve it so that it works better for your workflow as well.
Absolutely. Well, I think there was about 6 of us looking at it, and every one of us wanted something different. So dive in, increase Anthony's nightmare by asking for everything.
Not just different things, opposite things as well. All the
Yeah.
arguments that happen in the groups. Oh, you guys don't even know.
Yeah. Right. But yeah, let us know what you think of it. And I suppose there's nothing really else to show in that.
Nope.
It's fairly straightforward, I think. Nice and easy. And that is the plan we've been aiming for, actually.
And so you can see that on your dashboard, or you click on listings and you'll see health check with a nice bright orange new button.
Oh, is that where it is? Cool. I hadn't found that yet. Cool. Yeah, so as it is, listings health check. Yeah, thank you. I was looking for that. Yep. Right.
Ideas
Okay.
for Christmas asks if she detects a Scottish accent in your voice.
I hope so. Yeah, I'm just outside Glasgow, but I moved around a lot when I was a kid, so the accent is crazy mixed up. Hence why I say nothing correctly. So,
Except
especially
for Etsy, you get that one perfect. That's the proper
absolutely. Yep.
pronunciation. She's the only one that pronounces it right. The rest of us we get it wrong every time.
To be fair, I don't know how many people have been around long enough to remember this, but way back at the start, the Etsy staff, the Etsy founders were always being asked, where does the name come from? And I didn't know at the time, but they made up a different reason every time, being the crazy entrepreneurs that they are. But the one that I heard was they said it came from how you write the 3 letters for etc, etc, which makes sense as Etsy to me. So I thought, yeah, I'm totally right with this. But they were just making up nonsense. So
They keep it fun just like we do.
well, this was many moons ago. I don't even know if the original founders are still about. I don't think so. So
I don't think so.
yeah, I haven't looked into that. Right. So
They don't call me at Christmas, so I don't know.
Oh, do they not?
It's so left out.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie and say, yeah, they're always sending me cards and little notes. Yeah, not at all.
They send messages asking for my email address, though. They always do that.
I got my first scam message this week. I feel so seen now. Finally.
Like usually shops with over 100 sales do not get those messages, but for some reason everyone got them this week. So that's I feel like I'm part of the club now. It's nice.
I know. I was so excited when I saw it, and I was like, "Yeah, it's a scam!" I
can finally see it firsthand how it shows up.
Yep. Right. So Irene had a question. Yep. How accurate, reliable is the rank checker on Etsy? If it sees your listing on page 1 and in the top 5, is that what others are seeing, or only maybe some people?
Only some people. So when you're seeing it on Rank Checker, that's without any personalization whatsoever. So that information is coming directly from Etsy, not from any other external sources. So if there's no personalization whatsoever, then you are exactly where it says that you are. Once you add location, once you add target audience, once you add past shopping habits, once you add gender, age, all of the other factors into it, then it starts changing. So your results will be different than my results. On eRank, the data that we're seeing, if we were both looking up the exact same listing on Rank Checker, it would show the exact same numbers. But on Etsy, it will show very different results because of all the personalization.
Yeah, it's where you're ranking before the personalization algorithm gets its hands on it. And that's a good thing to see. If you're ranking on page 1 in the top 5, what that's saying is Etsy thinks your listing is good and relevant for that listing, for that keyword, sorry. It doesn't it then waits and sees, is it good and relevant for that person searching? But one thing I don't think we've spoke about a whole lot, this is a thing I got from the developers blog. It's Craft as Code, is the Etsy developers write what they're doing. And personalizations are really expensive, computationally expensive. So they only put the personalizations on the list. It's the first 1,000 listings after they've been ranked for relevance. So if you're not ranking, then you're not going to get shown anyway. You know, you have to be ranking to be put into the personalization algorithm. So that's also very important. But yeah, being seen on
That
the
makes
top.
sense when there's a million results for them not to have the personalization on every single one of those listings.
That's it, exactly. As soon as I read that, I was like, of course. How, how would they be able to do it so quickly for a search for engagement ring where there's millions? So yeah, that's it. It's a hard read. Anyone who knows about programming or anything, I know nothing. I just read through and go, occasionally bits will be like, oh yeah, that makes sense. So, but yes, I read that one and it's cool. So it is important, even with personalizations. And even this was the thing that Josh Silverman was talking about in the investors report, how we're even going beyond this to do like the AI seeing what people are like more personalizations. But that's going to be laid on top of this relevance ranking thing anyway. So it's always important to check we're up there. If you're in the first few pages, then that personalization algorithm is still going to see you. So
Yeah.
Yeah, tangent there. Right. Sharon's saying, I'm new and I have no listings, but I have rankings from A to F. That either I'm missing something. What part of the tool are you looking at? If you have no listings, there shouldn't be any rankings, but that sounds like a glitch. I would hit the little blue button on the bottom right-hand side of eRank to speak to the team about that.
Because the ranks will show when you're in the listing audit, and when you go to listings, active listings, you'll see the grade in the top corner of every listing. That's the rankings that we're talking about.
Yep, I can't think of anything else in the tool, but it's a massive tool, and we all forget pages in it sometimes.
There's over 50 tools on eRank, so it's tough to keep up.
Have you counted?
Yeah.
I think one of the first things I had to do when I started was go through them all and check all the help files. And that was probably the best thing, because I was like, oh, we've got a tool for that. And what are you supposed to do with that? So that was cool. But yeah, it was a lot. So
Because
Pascal,
everyone is like an everyday tool. You will end up using all the tools as you run your shop, but they're not just like everyday tools.
oh, absolutely. And that's anybody who's new, don't try that. Like, figure out what it is that you're wanting to do with your shop and pick on one or two tools to learn how to use. I would definitely always say probably be looking at the keyword tool. That's a big one to start with. That's probably the one I use the most.
Yeah.
And the traffic stats, if you're connected to Google Analytics, that's a handy one to see actual keywords.
And now we're going to be on health check quite a bit to fix all the listings that it tells us to fix.
Nah, I've looked. I'm just going to leave it now. No, I'm going to go back and find out what I'm doing wrong with that cat. Pascal saying, I opened my shop about 2 months ago with digital SVGs. I sell good and get great reviews. Fantastic if your shop's 2 months old. I respond to every review. Is that good or not? Publish, respond, or to the reviewer only? Yeah, responding to reviews is a cool thing that Etsy lets us do. It really depends on your shop. I confess that I My phone is on the, if this little black box makes any noise, it's going out the window, so I don't get notifications for anything. So I miss when I get reviews, and then I see that I've got a chunk of them, and I feel bad because I haven't answered, so I don't answer to anybody. And I know people like Brian have fantastically busy shops. You'd probably have to hire someone to deal with all the reviews. So.
Yeah, we don't respond. We have over 8,000 reviews. It would just be it's a lot. We don't even look at reviews till like maybe once a week. We might look at them just to make sure we're doing things right. When you are a smaller shop, it is good to do that because you're adding that sense of activity. You're showing your customers good customer service. You're showing prospective customers good customer service. So it is a good thing to do. The problem is that once you start missing ones here and there, now you might make customers feel like they don't matter as much. So you might want to ease into it. It's definitely a personal choice. With SVGs, it's less often that that you'll do that type of thing, but it's definitely
Absolutely.
a personal choice.
Yeah, it's going to be different for everyone. I think on all things, like when you're building up your social media, your email marketing, everything, when it starts, you probably have time to deal with everything. But over time, if a shop gets big, you're going to get overwhelmed. So you have to get to the point where you realize what you're able to cope with. But starting out, especially a 2-month-old shop, it's a lovely thing. Some of those customers hopefully are going to be people that are coming back for the next 10 years. So
Exactly. And those like, thank you so much. Those like grateful responses are like people love seeing them as well.
absolutely. Anna has asked, I'd love to know this from a US and UK perspective. We've got no US just now. Do you get hit by customs duties or taxes if you order something from the EU on Etsy or online? If so, do you think buyers might get annoyed by it? Currently for the UK, I've not been hit by EU taxes. I believe most places, like, well, especially on Etsy, yeah, when you buy on Etsy, those should be rolled in already. You should have paid them already.
In the US, they are probably the luckiest country in the world. They don't pay duties or taxes for incoming products starting from 800 US. So if it's less than 800 US, they do not pay duties anyways. Somewhere like Canada, you pay duties on anything over $5, which is not fun. And so it's different based on the country. I believe the UK, you guys do pay VAT when you place the order, and so there's no extra duties on top of that.
Yeah, it depends. Through Etsy, we're charged. With other countries, the EU didn't used to be an issue until a certain thing happened. Um, but the places, I haven't ordered anything that this has happened to in a while. But before Etsy did this, what used to happen is it was over a certain amount, and it was very rare that customs actually charged us. So you might get some angry customers occasionally from the UK just because they didn't know, because we don't usually get charged. I've never been charged customs. And I've ordered a lot online. I'm aware I'm very lucky, basically. So
I know that when we get an order, we're in Canada. When we get an order going to the UK, we have to write a special UK VAT number to show that
mhm.
taxes were paid. And it's the same when it's going to the EU. We have to write an IOSS number on there, and it has to be on the outside of the package so that it can be seen, so that customs knows not to double charge them for the taxes, because you're automatically going to be paying taxes.
Yep. And if you use Etsy labels, that's all dealt with. You don't even have to put
Yeah.
it on the outside. But if you're not using Etsy labels, Etsy will give you a code that you can use. Yeah, it's the IOSS number, and that's pretty straightforward with Etsy. So yeah, we are paying them, but it's not through Etsy. It's not a surprise. That's rolled into what we pay upfront, so it does make it easier.
Yeah, there won't be extra duties when they arrive, or at least there's not supposed to be.
Yep. Jill, we've got a few questions on Rank Checker, but that is cool. Jill saying, my understanding is the Rank Checker of the Rank Checker tool is it will show you the results of a keyword search without personalized results. If that's the case, why do low performing listings show at the top? Okay, I like this one. Why do low performing listings show at the top? If you check in the Etsy handbook, the ultimate guide to search, it tells you some of the things that go into ranking, and it's not just how the listings perform. The listing, I can't remember the exact name for it, but there's a score for your listing. There's a score for how your shop's doing with reviews and everything, but the keywords you use, lots of things go into where your item ranks. And one of the things as well, you might be looking at a listing and saying, that listing has only had 2 sales and it ranks higher than this listing that's had 20 sales. But the listing that's had 20 sales might not have had their sales for that search term. The listing that's had 2 sales, it might have been doing very well just for that search term. So there's a whole lot that we can't know and we can't compare. So we can't say if this is a low performing listing for that exact search term. It's way more complicated.
Yeah, you'll find a lot more information when you go to the search analytics on Etsy under marketing. You'll be able to see what's actually happening for individual search terms. Because like Pam was saying, like if a listing's doing well, that doesn't mean it's doing well for a specific word. But a listing that's doing horrible could still be doing great for a completely different term. And so that's why on Rank Checker, there's a lot to decipher behind the scenes. It's not just in your face, this is the information. There's a lot of stuff behind the scenes that needs to be kind of figured out as well.
Yeah. Ranking everywhere is much more clever these days. It's not a case of put this in your title, put this in your tags, make 20 sales and woohoo, you're a winner. It's more the algorithms are trying to find the right thing to show to the right customers. So they take into account lots of other things, and behind the scenes, Etsy are also always trying to do things to keep up with any of us who are trying to sort of game the system with getting all your mates to like your item or something like that. All these things are removed as irrelevant. So there's a lot going on.
Yeah. Some of the things that Etsy says it uses are relevancy, listing quality score, recency, customer and market experience score, shipping price, translation, location and language, frequency capping, and context-specific ranking. So those are all things that Etsy uses, and that will show in the rank checker before it gets to that personalization as well. And that's all for one specific search term.
Yeah, I think that's the thing that is difficult to understand, but a listing might rank really well for one search term and not for the other. And the one that it's not doing well for isn't going to drag it down for the search term it is doing well for. It is on an individual search term basis, because the robots are trying to understand what our listings are.
Even though we're not supposed to write our titles for robots, they're watching. They're watching.
They are indeed, yeah. Well, the point of that kind of is, I know we're trying to do SEO to speak to the algorithms, but the algorithm's job is to find the thing that the customer wants. So if we create our listings for the people and the people love our stuff, then the robots will start loving our stuff. I sound like I'm writing some kind of dystopian fantasy or something doing all of this, but yeah.
The robots do what we tell them to do.
I don't think they do anymore. Oh, Stephanie, good seasonal question. After a holiday, is it better to replace holiday-specific SEO, or should we just leave it until next time that the holiday comes around? You have holiday-specific stuff.
We do have holiday-specific stuff, and if it can change holidays, like if you have an item that's great for Valentine's Day, but it's also great for Mother's Day, after Valentine's Day or a week before Valentine's Day, you might want to switch that up to say Mother's Day. So you might want to have one specific tag set aside that you can change. That way you're not losing any other words. Because if you have Valentine's Day and then a very important word, when you remove that to put Mother's Day, that very important word, you might actually lose traction for that very important word. So if you are doing that, you might want to set one aside. When it's a big holiday such as Christmas, we're selling Christmas stuff in March. So if you do remove those terms, you might lose potential sales of people that do shop year round for specific items. We're very Halloween centric, my shop, and people are searching for Halloween all year round. So we would never remove the word Halloween, even if it's a very specific Halloween item. We would never use that because you never know when someone is searching for it.
Every day is Halloween. Absolutely.
Damn right.
And you're very on brand. I am seeing all the black and orange there.
It's supposed to be red. My camera is off right now.
Hey, it works. It works with the black and orange for me. Well, by the time it gets through to YouTube, it might be red. Who knows?
Hopefully.
It could be my screen. I've no idea what it's doing.
Hey,
and
Google,
it's just
set printers to orange.
Anna's asking, did I just hear a cha-ching in someone's background? It'll be him. It won't be me.
That's me. I forgot to turn my phone on silent, and it's not close to me. Sorry, guys.
It's good luck, and being on this screen increases your chance of cha-chings.
It always does. Whenever I'm live,
Absolutely.
everyone just starts getting the cha-chings. So join us every week on Thursday at 3 p.m.
Yep,
Eastern Standard Time.
Absolutely. Ideas for Christmas. Can I ask, how do people have videos with animation when you hover over them? That's just having videos in your Etsy listing. They autoplay when you hover over them on a desktop.
Yeah.
If you have the videos, and it's a cool feature, and everybody should have videos, really.
Etsy's recommending lately to add videos to your listings just because it does add that extra bit of pop, especially in search results on a desktop. But also that way you can show off your product. When you're doing in-person markets or you go to a store or anything like that, people could pick up the product, look at it from all sides. They can't do that when they're just looking at flat pictures online. People don't understand. You can't tell the story. And so showing yourself making the product, there's many different videos that you can do that really will help sell your listing. And so having a video, it's actually pretty important.
Absolutely. I know we did, I don't have the link, but when videos first came out on Etsy, eRank did a blog on types of videos to make, and a load of you guys sent us in your videos to be able to demonstrate all the different types. It's like Brian said, super important if you hand make your items, showing how you hand make your just showing that you do hand make your items. I mean, even if you look at Brian just now, he has his printer sitting behind him. You know he's doing the do. He's told the story without even trying to there. So
Exactly.
people want to know about that. You can
even if
do
your images, even if your video is just a slideshow of your other images, because then when someone hovers over it, they'll actually be able to scroll through your images essentially, which is always a good thing.
It's super cool. And like Ideas for Christmas said, that they've spotted and said, oh, look, that moves, basically. That stopping the scroll is a great thing. If someone's looking through a search page and something makes them stop on your listing, it's very easy to just click on your listing from there. So yeah, if everybody else in your niche isn't using videos, definitely use videos.
This is like that advertisement on buses, on bus stops that say this is proof that bus advertising works. That's essentially what that is. Since you've noticed them, other people are going to be noticing them too. So you might want to think about using them.
Absolutely. And they're fun, and you can double them up and put them in all your social media as well if you make good videos. So it's marketing as well.
Exactly. And a bus is like a trolley, I think you guys call it.
We call a bus a bus.
You call a bus a bus? Oh, look
Yep.
at you guys moving into the new generation.
Oh, you're lucky I can't just hit you through the screen. Well, I thought like you guys said half of the things we say and half of the things that America say, and then mix up your own craziness in between there as well.
In Canada here, yeah, we do that, and we use the U's in color and favorite and all that. Our spelling is very UK based, but our slang and everything is very US centric.
Yeah, I think all cultures are very messed up just now.
Pretty much. What else do we have here?
Oh, some people are saying they haven't had their scam message yet. I'll send you a scam message if it makes you feel good.
There's still plenty of time for the holiday season to get that scam message in.
Absolutely. But yeah, guys, in all seriously, watch out if you get a message that says it's from what is it, Etsy staff is usually the one. Check to the right of the message. If it's actually from Etsy, someone who works for Etsy, there will be a little thing by the message saying this person works for Etsy. And yeah, don't
It will
send.
usually not refer to you as dear,
Yep.
and it won't end it with thanks, Etsy. It will say the person's name.
Although people always say they don't do exclamation marks, but I looked, some of my emails from Etsy,
Do have them, yeah.
the ones with the black E, they do exclamation marks a lot. So that's not a thing. Etsy do exclamation mark, but otherwise, yeah, look out for, they don't need your email, they don't need your bank details through messages. If they need it, there'll be a screaming banner at the top of your shop dashboard.
And Etsy staff will no longer use the Etsy logo as their profile image. You will now see a person, and it will be from a person. It won't be from Etsy or Etsy seller or Etsy staff or anything like that. It'll be from an actual person.
Yeah, and generally, I haven't. Yeah, the ones I've seen with the face as well. Generally, the avatar will have a little circle overlapping outside the avatar with the E in it. That's something that we can't copy. That's a Etsy thing. So yeah, watch out for those because scammers.
That's like the
are
blue
about.
check mark. It's the orange check mark to say, hey, I'm actually an Etsy staff member.
Absolutely, yes. Aurora Design, is that going to pop up? Yes. Confused by the new spotted on Etsy. I added 20 keywords. What does it mean? For example, page 1, position 10, spotted by Google Analytics, Etsy visitor from Halifax. It means someone searched for that keyword that you're seeing beside you in that row. An actual real person searched for that keyword and they saw your listing at that exact position. When it says spotted by Google Analytics, that means you have your Google Analytics connected up to your Etsy account and your eRank account. So we're able to take that real actual data of people searching for you. So that is, it doesn't matter if that was a keyword you've added or not. We're going to show you all the keywords that actual real people have found you for.
Including keywords that other eRank members have added to their spotted on Etsy as well.
Yeah, you'll see under Etsy Monitor. If it's saying spotted by Etsy Monitor, that's all the keywords that you've put in plus all the keywords that we have on our system. If it says Google Analytics, that's every single keyword that you've been found for through the time period you're looking at. So congratulations. That means someone from Halifax saw you on page 1, position 10, and then clicked on your listing.
Yay, Canada.
Yeah, well, it is cool because you're ranking high. They thought you were relevant for what they were searching for, and they clicked on it. That's the first step.
That's definitely the best case scenario.
Well, sales, many sales, but
yeah, that too.
Yeah.
Now you're going overboard.
Getting greedy, I know. Ideas for Christmas. this. If I miss anyone, give me a yell. My screen jumps sometimes. If my tags come up with a lot of unknowns in the average searches, are they worth sticking with?
Yes. Unknown just means that we don't have the data. So it doesn't necessarily mean it's bad. It just means that our current panel, which I'm not sure, let's just say there's 2 million people on the panel out of the 98 million buyers. Those 2 million people haven't necessarily searched for it, but it's a term that could be searched for or that could be popular. We just don't know. And that's where unknown comes in.
Yeah,
So, yeah.
it's unlikely to be a massive search, but firstly, it could be. There could be some people there. And what can happen if you start off with these smaller keywords, if you start to do well and make sales for them, is your cat trying to attack you again?
No, just sales keep happening for some reason. We've
Oh,
been dead all day. It's so
I
weird.
couldn't hear that. Yeah. Yeah, so if you start to sell, for one thing, then your listing quality score increases, and Etsy might start showing you for some of these more competitive keywords. So those smaller keywords might work really well for you. And also the way the search works, where it can mix and match different words. It's always worth, if something is relevant for your listing, stick it in a tag, come back in 3 months and have a look at what you've been found for. And some of those words might have worked to create a keyword that you hadn't even thought of. So yeah, don't overthink keyword research. Like, you're looking for the cool stuff, but if it's relevant for your listing, stick it in. You've got 13 tags.
If you would search for it, then it might be worth keeping in.
Yep.
That's the cat.
I heard that one. That is the cat, yes. Hello.
Okay, girl. Okay. Oh.
I think this is Super Sophie. Awesome. Could you walk us through creating a listing using keyword search? I'm going to publish a new listing for a Christmas tree print, and I want to know if I'm doing it right. That is a cool but really big question, and I don't think we can walk you through quite fully. There are some videos on this YouTube channel showing you how to do. We've got for how to find keywords, how to write titles, how to do tags. But there isn't a right. Read the Ultimate Guide to Etsy Search on Etsy. Find yourself 2 or 3 super important keywords, put them in your title, fill up your tags with those keywords and everything else you can think of, and put it out there. For a Christmas tree print, put it out there 2 months ago. That's really, yeah.
And
Don't.
also, we now offer the listing helper, which is an AI tool where you can just enter your description and it'll spit out a whole bunch of tags, titles, and description ideas. And then you can bring those into the keyword tool and see what other similar terms it comes up with. It's really tough to do a live list. I mean, to create a listing live, that's a full hour dedicated to it right there. But there's definitely like a lot of back and forth throwing different tools, and the keyword tool is your best friend with that.
Yeah. I see you're asking for advice on a basic keyword search, and we only really have 10 minutes left, and I think there's a few more questions, but check on this channel. We do have videos on how to find Etsy keywords. I believe they were made before we combined the keyword tool and the keyword explorer. Yeah, but it still works the same. Just use the keyword tool. I'll have to remake those videos again, again and again.
Hard to keep up with how much things change. Things
Yeah.
just keep getting better, and we got to remember them.
Exactly. But yeah, I'm afraid there isn't quite time to do that. But really simple. With the keyword tool, you just type in the broad keyword phrase. It would be like Christmas print, Christmas SVG, but Christmas tree. Search for any one of those, scroll down to the related keywords and the related tags and see what there is. but also use the listing helper tool. That AI, I just literally just use it. Type in a description of what your item is, scroll down to the tags, have a look at what tags it's given you. But yeah, get it listed right now. Oh goodness. And David, I'm sorry, this is another huge question. How do we get linked in Google Analytics? Can you just give a high level overview? There is a blog post.
If you do a Google search for, I always find it's easier just go to Google, type eRank Google Analytics, and that'll bring you right to a step-by-step guide of how to link your store to Google Analytics, with images, with everything. Anthony put together a full thing that guides you through every step of the way.
Yep. That is not really a high level thing we can do just here, because it's complicated unless you just follow the step-by-step thing and it's just literally clicking a few buttons. But there's always a few things that some people miss out when they're given advice on doing this. And Anthony, like literally, I had Google Analytics connected for about 5 or 6 years and I was never getting any data. And Anthony's like, have you added that code there? Like, what? Put that in and suddenly it's working. Just like one little phrase I needed to add. So annoying.
So it's better to follow that step by step, just so that you don't miss anything important like that.
Yep. And Anna's apologizing for miscountrying you. You're Canadian, not US.
I'm in Toronto, so we have a very neutral accent versus the rest of Canada, which you can tell that they're Canadian.
Well, I just basically go by the South Park episode, and yes, that was how
my mouth moves, the whole thing.
Exactly. Your mouth doesn't do that. You can't be Canadian. So.
Hey, buddy.
Oh, Linda. I have many custom orders that include 5 or 6 items. However, it's only one order. Is there any way to mark an order with the number of items so that the actual sales are accurately recorded? Nope. That's an Etsy counting thing.
Yeah.
Sadly.
You got orders, you got sales. An order is the full entire thing, and then sales are each line item. So if someone buys 10 of the exact same item, that's still only one sale. But if they buy 10 variations of the same item, that's 10 sales. But it's still just the one order, and there's no way to change that just because that's the way that Etsy works.
Yeah, Etsy,
right, buddy?
Etsy can't count. Yeah, if your cats had to deal with Etsy, they would just knock it off the table. Like that.
Like that.
Okay. Oh, we've got Tonya is a first time here, so welcome aboard.
Hi, Tonya. Welcome.
Oh no, and yeah, who has someone who's been caught with the Etsy scam emails? Well, that so many people have, and generally, if you've just given them your email, make sure you've got 2-factor authentication on everything, but you should be okay. Don't give them your bank details or your card details. If you have, contact your bank.
And make sure you don't use the same password for your email as you do anywhere else, because one of the parts of the scam is they use a scam database which has millions and millions of hacked passwords, and they try that same password on your Etsy account once you give them the email address. So make sure that you're not using the same passwords anywhere if you have given any information.
Absolutely. Yes, and that the basic advice for any scam email, for Etsy scam emails, is the same across the board. Just don't click on anything. Don't give anyone your information, and if something sounds dodgy, just hang up, delete, mark as spam, go to the website of whatever it is that was telling you needed to do something. Because I think my PayPal's been threatening to be shut down for the past 10 years and it still never has. I have urgently to do something for them.
The amount of Amazon orders I make that they want to verify is crazy.
Oh, is it? Well, of course, Amazon will be worse than Etsy. Amazon's bigger than Etsy. So,
Yeah.
yeah. All right, I think we've got to the bottom of the questions. That was good timing. That never happens. So it must be you and me as the team. So
Yay! And
yeah,
Itchy. Itchy's been helping. Right,
of
Itch?
course. Yeah. Oh, hi.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah. So yeah, guys, thank you all so much for joining us. We are here every Thursday. I suspect we'll have some off through the end of December, but there's at least some of the team. I'm Pam. That's Brian. We
I'm Brian.
often have Starla with us as well. If you haven't checked her out, she's on YouTube, Starla Moore. She's doing a week-long channel reviews, so you get some more questions answered there. And yeah, don't forget, subscribe to YouTube so you find out about these lives, because Facebook is not linking up with the lives just now. And if you haven't already, you do need to sign up for eRank to get the most out of what we're telling you about. It's free to sign up, but you get more of the expensive data with some of our paid subscriptions. Yeah.
It is perfectly usable in the free account. Once you start finding yourself hitting walls, if you have more than 100 listings, if you have multiple shops, there's lots of reasons to upgrade. And once you start hitting those walls or you start hitting the limits is when you'll be like, okay, maybe I need to upgrade. And there is a basic plan. It's only $4.99 a month, which is very reasonable. And then you got a pro plan where you can have up to 5 shops. It's amazing for the price. Amazing.
Yeah.
I'm not even paid to say that.
And guys, we can give you some more in-depth answers to questions and things in the Facebook group, which is in the description below if you want to join up. We only have an hour here a week and there's only so much we can do, but we're both, and Deb and Irina and Jessica and tons of the team are in the Facebook group. So along with a load of awesome members who do more of the work than the rest of us. So don't forget to join us there. And yeah, we'll hopefully see you next week. Thank you so
And
much.
don't forget
guys.
to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon, because then you will be notified when the next one
Look
goes
at you
live.
being a YouTuber.
Every Thursday at 3 p.m. is when we go live here. So join us. Throw your
Yeah.
questions in. Learn. Bye,
See you
everyone.
guys.